Hi, everybody. My name is Nura. I'm here with my co-founder, Nino, to present Pleno, a blockchain-based platform that simplifies the carbon credit creation process. So why carbon credit? The current carbon market is broken by design, as you might have read in various news articles, from overestimations to many scandalous projects. Next, please. So our vision at Pleno to digitize the carbon market using machine learning and blockchain technologies for a faster, cheaper, and more accurate process for carbon credits. So I've been working in the sustainability field in the last 7 years and have learned three main problems in the carbon market. First, it's slow, takes up to 2 years to get certified for carbon projects. Second, it's expensive. Currently, 15% of the revenues are paid for the measuring and certification process. And third is low accuracy due to the manual calculations that is still being used. The carbon market is an exploding market, expected going up to 50 billion in 2030 and even up to 250 billion in 2050. But at Pleno, we're targeting the measuring and verification segment, which is around 15% of the total market. And we would like to start with a niche in the market, which is blue carbon. With that, I will hand it over to Nino to talk about the solution.
Thanks, Nura. So our value proposition is highlighted with Pleno green on the bottom of the slide. We aim to develop the most accurate forecasting model to predict the growth of carbon emission. All the issues that you see here can be broken down into three main problems: fragmented data, manual labor, and inaccurate data. Pleno is addressing these problems through our features. What are those? Are database, monitoring system with satellite, methodology recommendation, 2 machine learning models for carbon stock calculation and forecasting, and the other one for auto validation tasks done currently by auditor and registry. And lastly, we're storing all project data in the blockchain. Here are some examples of reliable data sources where we can find scientific data set, open source databases, and even near real-time data provided by the satellites. So now it's time for the demo. To start the demo, we'll create a carbon project where we first need to select the registry and then the auditor for certification. Then once we are here, we input all the project description, starting with name, timeline, description, project type, for example, project activity. And lastly, Pleno is providing the function to map the project location. Once we are on the world map, we can then directly zoom into project location and then draw the lines around the project area. So what's happening here is that Pleno analyzes the location and extract all the geospatial data. Lastly, we take screenshot for the evidence. Now, once it's done, Pleno has all the data for our machine learning model to recommend the methodology to calculate the carbon credits. In the next step, you'll see here the actual questions from the methodology. Here, we use the data that are extracted from the map function, basically. Next, you will see the actual third step. Now, this is where our machine learning model is calculating the carbon stocks, basically. So what we need is to enter the starting year of the project. We can calculate it, and then the time frame of the project to be forecasted. Once we got that, lastly, we need the evidence to be uploaded to support the project itself. Now, we can review the project data. Once we are happy with it, we can directly start the certification process. Now here, we choose our project and then directly start the certification pipeline. So once we start the pipeline, the validation and certification are done automatically by our auto validation machine learning model. What's happening here is that the model has learned the official requirements from auditors and registries and can classify projects to be whether it will be approved or rejected. And once it is done, all project data, timestamps, and others will be stored on chain. Congrats, we just certified our first carbon project. So next, Pleno is positioned perfectly because we offer state-of-the-art AI and blockchain technology while still offering a very competitive pricing. Next, we'll talk about the business side, and I'll hand back to Nura.
Great stuff. Thanks, Nino. So we have a SaaS business model with a tiered pricing based on a number of projects from small, medium to large, but we also have an enterprise business model for big corporates who are currently also planning to develop their own carbon projects. So just after 3 months working on Pleno, we have a very positive market signals. For example, we have signed 2 LOIs with carbon projects, and we also have 5 more LOIs in the pipeline. And we're also active in social media, publishing thought leadership content on sustainability and also Web3. And we also hosted a Web3 event here in Munich with 150 investors and also startups attending. Lastly, a short description of our team. So I have a background in sustainability and carbon, and Nino has a background on software engineers specializing in AI and machine learning. And with these combinations, we believe that we can develop the best solutions in the carbon market. So that is from Pleno today. To close off the presentations, I would like to stop with the executive summary slide and happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks you, Nora and Nino. Yes, please, Nikki.
Thanks both. Yeah, very interesting project. Before I joined crypto, I actually working in ESG financing. So I always feel like that the carbon credit is a super potential area. But I try to keep the question short. The first one is more about your client audience. Like, what's your plan to get into it? Because my understanding is the current institution who care about carbon emission, they are more like the huger enterprise. They have the responsibility to comply with the ESG standard. So while the first question is what's your plan to get into it? And the second one, I would say, I also see you already consider different standard like railroad gold standard. But is it finally will be recognized by them or just a separate certification?
Yeah, great questions. Nino, if you can jump back to slide number 2, or I think. Yes, so basically, as you mentioned here, Miki, as well. So a lot of corporates have been spending millions and millions of dollars to buy carbon credit, because if they cannot reduce the emissions, they need to offset their emissions, right? But as we see now, a lot of scandals has been happening. So there's actually a lack of confidence in the market. Recently, I just read companies like Shell, a lot of oil mining companies as well. They're now taking a step back and thinking about, should we actually invest again in carbon projects, or we actually develop our own projects, right? Because the current process are not very, let's say, transparent. So this is why actually the opportunity for us to provide a new solutions that we will have. So our target users is the project developers, so project underground, providing them with the tools, with the solution that they need. And the second is that we will onboard the auditors, which is I can look into our databases. And go into your second questions, we will also then onboard the registries. Why is that? Because the registries also have the incentive, because they have the pre-validated data available, so they can look into our databases, verify the data. So for us, this is kind of like the flywheel effect. Once we have the project, we have the auditors, the registry, it will then onboard more projects. But of course, with machine learning, the goal at the end is that we will also create our own standards or methodology. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well then, guys, actually, funny enough, yesterday I started reading this book, How to Avoid the Climate Crisis by Bill Gates. So it's very on par on my interest. I barely started it, so I cannot comment. I don't have much questions because I don't understand the industry that well. Being honest, I've reviewed maybe 10 or 15 carbon credit projects in the last 6 months or so. And they all seem to say, the same thing. And obviously, everyone has some edge or differentiator. And you show the competitor graph, but in a very nutshell, why do you think you're going to be the ones to win in this game? Because I think it's a big market to go after, and it's going to be very difficult to do so. Why do you think you guys are the ones to really win the race?
Yeah, Nino, happy if you would like to take that.
Yeah, sure. So I think to approach these answers, we have 4 different points. So as you can see here, this is what we call our moat. This is our technical and business defensibility. So we don't only provide them with the tech, but also how to process the data. And on top of that, we provide our experience in the field. Mine is machine learning and software engineering, Nura is sustainability. But maybe if I may bring you to one of our, okay. Yeah, yes. So what differentiates us is not only the technology that we provide, basically. So what we want to do is we know where to get the data. Now we have our partners to provide the ground data, which will be used to validate the data that is currently extracted by via the satellite, for example. And once it is validated, we can process the data, create the new data set, which has a different integrity level, right? It's more high quality because everything is validated both from satellites and directly from the ground. And with this kind of data, we're confident enough that we will build a machine learning model that can provide the most accurate answers, basically, for or to tackle each of the problems that are occurring in the carbon market. Does that answer your question?
Cool. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yaroslav, over to you.
Have we got any time for that, Albert?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll be quick. Well, first of all, you said that the market is broken. To my understanding, the whole idea of carbon credit offset is broken. I mean, like increasing pollution in one part of the world because the other part of the world is not industrial. It seems something not very legit to me. But from the business side, and that's what I understood talking to people who are deep into ESG agenda. Is that, again, referring to your slide about the market is broken, this whole multi-billion, soon multi-trillion stuff is heavily manipulated. And the thing is that, like, whatever tech you've got and whatever, like verifiable on-chain technology and all the bells and whistles you have on top of that, unless you join either by acquisition or partnership, some of the big enterprises who are actually like driving all this stuff, I believe this market is inaccessible. So tackling it from creating a product very which is very usable and very user friendly for any enterprise doesn't actually solve the problem that these small enterprises have. No one wants their small credits and no one wants to process them. That doesn't make money for the industry. So maybe you've got like some idea of how you want to create a product that you're targeting an M&A or just buy out by some big tech or big enterprise to say, okay, these guys created something really cool on the tech side, so maybe we incorporate this into our pipeline.
Yeah, very good point as well, if I may respond. I know that's also a very important point as well there, Yaroslav. I've totally understood that basically, I mean, not just the carbon market is broken, but there are a misaligned incentive, right? People are now just spending money basically to pay for the sins. But what we're seeing as well from my own experience is that these corporates, they know that basically they have to do something because they can't really reduce all the emissions that they have. So they even now doing this called insetting, and they're also doing their own part, right? They invest in it. Why is that? Of course, first for the emissions, but not just that, there are also a lot of benefits. For example, I have my background here is actually mangrove because we would like to focus on blue carbon and mangrove because that's actually also climate change mitigations. So we both coming from Bali, Indonesia, basically our family now is also threatened by the rising sea levels. That's why people or projects are coming up with mangrove to protect them with the rising sea levels. So there is also a social benefit, but there's also environmental benefit for the local communities, of course, but also globally, especially for these corporates that can invest directly. So I know it's not a perfect market right now, but for now we are trying to provide the solution, starting with like, what can we use the best technology out there and help these companies to invest in them.